guys, Sam from SamCanChef here. A couple of you had asked if I could post a video showing some tips, tricks, techniques, something like that, so that you could cook some of the dishes that I've been putting up on my Facebook page and my Instagram. So what I wanted to do is just take a quick second and show you one of, in my opinion, the most important skills that any cook can use in the kitchen, and that is how to cut an onion. Pretty simple, pretty basic, but I use onions in almost everything that I cook. So if you guys follow the recipes on my page, it's going to be something that you'll use a lot. So we'll grab an onion, grab a knife, and we'll get started. So before we actually break the knives out, I just want to give you a quick pro tip. So a situation that we've probably all seen before: you get your cutting board out, get that up on the counter. As soon as you start working on something, it starts sliding around, right? So the way we're going to prevent that is just grab yourself a damp cloth. You can use a wash rag, a couple of folded up paper towels, whatever you've got on hand. Throw those guys down on the counter, and then put your cutting board on top of that. That'll give you a nice, stable, secure workspace that's not going to slide away and make you cut yourself or anything like that. Now next, I want to talk about grip. The way that you hold the knife is really, really important. So I see a lot of cooks holding their knives like this, or with a finger on top, or something like that. The technique that we're going to be working with is really simple. It's called the pinch grip. Basically, all you're going to do is pinch between your thumb and your index finger right above the handle of the knife, right? Just like that. Curl the bottom three fingers around the handle, and now what you've done is you've got a really nice secure grip on the handle, and you've also got the knife in really good alignment with your arm and your wrist. Just as important as how you're holding your knife is what you're doing with your offhand. It's really easy when you're working on something to get your fingers in the way, cut a finger off, something like that. Not going to be a good day. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a technique called the tiger claw. Basically, all you're doing is you're curling the tips of your fingers under your knuckles. That way you can put the tips of your fingers down on the cutting board. The blade of your knife can go right up against the knuckles, and you're never going to get your fingertips in the way. Just a couple of quick pointers before we get started to keep your fingers attached to your body. All right, guys, now that we've got everything set up, got our cutting board, got our knife, got an onion here, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do a julienne onion. It's a really simple technique, but it's something you can use in all different kinds of recipes. First thing you're going to do is take your onion and remove the end opposite of the root. So if this is the root end, we're going to take this end off. Now, cut the other end off, and then cut the onion straight down through the center. So now we've got two halves of an onion. These are going to be really super easy to peel, just like that. And you're ready to do your julienne. Now, the thing that I see people do most often is they cut through the end of the onion that way. And what you end up with is these like curly Q pieces. They're all different lengths and sizes. That's not really the product that we want to end up with. Cooking is all about consistency, so we want to make sure that when we're prepping stuff, that all the pieces that we're cutting come out consistently sized so that they cook evenly. So what we're going to do is, instead of cutting it this way, we're going to turn the onion that way and cut into the sides of the onion as opposed to the ends. Since the onion's curved, we're going to have to start at an angle here and then straighten out the blade once we get into the center. But again, using that nice, smooth, rocking cutting motion, we'll just start cutting here, about one cut every 1/8 of an inch or so. So you see how simple that is? Now we've got nice, evenly sized pieces that are going to cook evenly and make a great addition to a grilled steak or something like that. Now, when you're cutting through an onion like that, eventually you're going to get to a point where your hand runs out of room. So now my hand's kind of cramped up back here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that onion now onto its side and then just start over. Really simple, really easy, really useful. So now that we've got the julienne down, let's move on to doing a quick dice. I'm going to show you today how to do a small dice, but you can use the same technique to do large dice, medium dice, or whatever your recipe calls for. So we're going to start the same way by cutting off the end opposite of the root, just like that. Now on this one, we're not going to remove this root end. And the reason for that is because the root and the bottom end of the onion are going to hold everything together and make it a lot easier for us to work with it without stuff sliding around and moving around. And so instead of cutting the end off this way, we're just going to cut straight down through the center of that root and have the onion. So let's go ahead and get that guy peeled. All right, perfect. So now that we've got our onion cut in half, what we're going to do is take the knife and insert it sideways into the end of the onion. We're going to make 2 1/4-inch slices, just like that. Now the important thing here is to make sure that you don't cut all the way through that root end, again, because that's holding everything together. So just make sure when you're making your cuts that you don't go through the root. Once we've got this first slices put in the onion, now we're going to turn it back this direction and make a couple of more 1/4-inch slices through the width of the onion. Boom. So now that we've got those slices in there, just take that knife and again, in 1/4-inch increments, go through and cut across those same cuts. And there you've got it. You've got a perfectly diced onion. Really simple, really quick, not a lot of mess. You can use this for making soup, you can use it on tacos, or whatever other applications you can think of. So there it is, guys. 2 new techniques today, how to dice and julienne an onion. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you follow the recipes on my page, you're going to use those 2 techniques a lot. So the best way to get the practice in is just to get in the kitchen and get to cooking. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions for some videos that you'd like to see, then leave me a comment in the section below, and I'll see you guys next time on SamCanChef and SoCanYou.